Been worse.
Are you? I mean, 4 minutes late.
Although I need to make sure my mic works. That is my mic does weird things whenever I restart computers. So if chat can let me know if the mic works real quick, that would be awesome. But welcome into another episode, and we lost some people. Brandon is sick, so he's being a nice little baby as usual. No, I hope he feels better. And then Herbie decided to get, I think it was 6 teeth pulled, so he's I'm sure feeling amazing at the moment. But yeah, no, it's got our guest here though. At least someone showed up today. That's the one silver lining here in the show. Thank you for coming on, Kurtis, by the way.
Yeah, of course, man. Thanks for having me, bud.
Hell yeah. So, it was funny because we were gonna have like a cool show. We had some cool stuff to talk about, and then all of a sudden FD's like, yeah, we're gonna just drop some big news today. And I'm like, oh, okay. So we're gonna go. Don't worry, guys. We'll go over all of the pro spec and pro list. I would argue the pro spec list is more exciting than the pro list. But obviously that's something we're gonna go over in a bit. But just a quick update with you guys on the channel. We have a video coming out tomorrow on basically my EcoBoost stuff on the DDMRL side. On Thursday, we're doing some live streaming stuff on Assetto. So that'll be a lot of fun to come and hang out with you guys. I did a test stream last Thursday and just randomly went live and had a couple of you guys in chat come and just drive with me, and it was a lot of fun and just a good time. So appreciate you guys coming on for that one. We're going to do that again this Thursday. But why don't we just go ahead and get started with, well, for starters, actually, before we get into the FD stuff, can you give people like a 5-minute rundown on what you do? Because I don't even know if I can even put what you do in 5 minutes, to be honest, but try to condense everything that you do in this drift world in like 5 minutes for people that don't know you real quick, because you do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot, right? I own and operate my own shop that mainly runs around the drifting world. It's K1 Built. Have been doing that for 13 years, I think, right? Where we do it all, like tuning, fabrication, engine builds, all that.
Yep.
Outside of that, I've worked with Mid Pond for many, many years, helping Ken with his Instagram and stuff at the track and all that. And then crew chief for Andy Haley for 11 seasons between Pro 2, Pro Spec, and Pro 1. Really carbon dating ourselves with Pro 2 mentions, I guess.
Yeah. No. You've seen a thing or two.
A few things, right? And then I drive. Used to drive a lot. Have been driving a little bit this year, tiny bit. Getting my feet wet again.
Just stealing other people's cars, not a big deal.
Hey, look, God bless everyone that's let me drive a very expensive drift car this year. Shout out to my boy Dustin Miles and Trevor Root for giving me basically pro cars to rip around in.
Hell yeah.
Andrew Grindle as well did it at Kultch Kickers. Let me drive that wild S15 thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then we came on board with Kultch Kickers this year and have acted as one of many hats, but we'll call it operations manager, director, something like that. So I think that's it. I think that's condensed enough. Yeah,
I know. I mean, you got quite a few hats that you're kind of wearing, and like you said, it all starts with you still actually have a business, which is hilarious because I feel like you're at some event almost every weekend, whether it's it's FD Clutch Kickers and stuff. I'm sure your schedule was nuts this year.
It was something this year for sure. I don't know how many weeks I was out of town, but it was, I think, more than I was in town.
Yeah, no, it's a good time. But so now that people understand, you've seen a thing or two, you kind of know a little bit about this drifting thing. Let's get into some of these names. Now, I don't know, especially the prospect guys. I don't know a lot of them. A lot of the new guys, and so there's only so much I can say about those guys. And so let me change this so you can see it as well. Kurtis, where
Oh, perfect. I was
is...
going to pull it up on my phone.
Yeah. You should be able to see it now, but it might be pretty small. But
So I'm going to pull it up on my phone.
yeah. Can't imagine your eyes are that great, so, you know.
It's something about welding and burning them out, you know?
Yeah, it happens. All right, so first things first, we have the prospect field, and it's at 39 drivers, which is, I feel like,
A lot.
I mean, it's quite a bit, but I feel like that's less than last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Admittedly, I didn't pay that much attention to prospect.
Yeah, no, you probably weren't the only one, but in terms of prospect, though, we have a lot of the usual suspects. We do have some interesting guys missing, although we did go over some of those people last episode. Guys like Cole Richards and Corey Talaska, who weren't in the top 3, but did end up getting pumped up to pro. And I'm quick doing something. There we go. All right, now we're back to normal. But we can just quick go down the list. Adam Heichman, big improvement actually last year. I think he drove your Kultch Gears event too, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he came down and ripped for sure.
Yeah.
Last minute, like I went and hung out with him in Richmond, and then he decided to come down and drive with us the week later, and he took third this past weekend.
Yeah. No. So he's a ripper. You know, you guys are going to see him back again this year. Probably one of the guys I would think would be fighting for a top 5 spot, no problem, in the series. You got Adam Napick. You know, he's still beating. Honestly, I'm curious to see if he brings back the S14 because he's beating the crap out of that thing. That thing looked like it had half burnt down at SEMA when I saw it. It was hilarious, but again,
yeah, he's had a lot of problems with that thing over the years.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, part of it's, you know, lighting the back half of that car on fire multiple times. But, I mean, you know, teach their own. You got Alex Yeager, probably another one of the favorites to do well next year in his it was a 400Z? Well, I don't.
370.
It's a 370 with a 400 kit on it or whatever.
Did he put a 400 kit on it this year?
Yeah, I think he did. I'm trying to remember. It had the same thing, or it's similar to what? Well, sorry, Forsberg has an actual 400, and then
copycat.
Yeager has a 370 with a 400Z kit on it.
Oh yeah, he did put a 400 body on it. That's sick.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
This year.
I know. Yeah, it's weird. It's like you had to go cover something else, you know.
Yeah, strange.
You got Alan Boss coming back. You got Amanda Sorensen coming back. Aiden Copham, don't know who that is. So if you guys in chat have thoughts on him, let me know. Braden Lawns, however you say that. I feel like I've heard of him, but I don't know who that is either. You got Brian Hopp coming back, which I'm glad. Hopefully he takes some grip out of that car. And I think he'll do a lot better, personally.
That's mean. It's mean.
No, dude, he's a good driver, except when the car is not drivable. And then you got, let's see, Brian Wills, another really another really solid driver. Cameron Sorensen, another I would consider favorite for the series. Carson Ruger, good. I'm glad Carson's coming back because he kind of had a rough season last year. Just a lot of car problems. You got Chris Leonard in the Mustang coming back. Colette's coming back. You got Colin Zielinski. He was second or third in rookie standings.
I mean, he's another ripper for sure.
But yeah, he's another good driver. You got Cody Dempster coming back. Hopefully he can bring a car that's, you know, going to work every round. That's always been his Achilles heel. And then we got Dimitri still on this list. And, you know,
was he on the pro list too? Because I didn't really look.
Yeah, I would assume. Yes, he is. He's on both lists.
I mean, I don't blame him for staying in both, to be honest. Like, why not? If you've got 2 cars and you have the ability to do it, why not get? There's some level of strategy to it, right? Because like you get that extra seat time.
I've watched him. So I mean, let me for people that don't know, I will quick explain why Dimitri runs both series. It is so that you can hold a spot for his kid when his kid moves up to Prospect, even though I'm not sure that's actually how that works, personally. Also, that's the main reason. Um, Personally, I've seen a pretty negative effect watching his program over the last couple of years running both series, because he can. So what it does is it puts him in a position where he's really running thin on parts and reliability of cars. He ended multiple like events with broken cars. Like he just couldn't finish the event because the car died on him multiple times. And it's like it's partially because you're trying to run two cars in the same weekend and you're just running your program too thin, you know?
Yeah, you need a bigger program to do it. Like you need more structured help and
yeah, you
mechanics
need
and all
actual
that.
spare engines and all this kind of stuff. And when you're running on a budget, it just in theory it makes sense because you're like, oh, it's not that much more expensive, but it really is literally almost double the expenses because of how much wear and tear is on both cars. And if he would have just, in my opinion, if he would have just put all his effort into the one car, I think he would have a drastically better season. Because mentally, I think he'd be a lot stronger. I think the car would be a lot stronger. I mean, half the rounds he was running the prospect car because the pro car was broken. It's like, it's just
the pro car had a lot of issues this year.
Yeah, it's just for me, it's I think it's detrimental to his program, and I don't think it's good. And plus, people don't want him in the prospect series anyways. So I don't think it helps his image. It's just, I don't think there's real good upside for him to keep doing this. And I've told him this before. But I'm not. He's gonna do what he wants. It's Dimitri. I ain't gonna. Nothing I say is gonna change his mind.
What do people not like about him being in the prospect series?
Oh, because they think they're taking a spot away from a prospect driver to jump into pro, which technically doesn't make sense because the top 5 drivers ended up moving up anyways. But yes,
well, I mean,
you're correct.
Though,
yeah, you should just. You sure? Yeah.
You can't beat Dimitri. You can't beat anybody else in pros. So what different? It's the same concept as when people complained about pro drivers driving in pro-am.
Yeah, I know.
You can't beat them, then why are you going to go up?
Yeah, no, and that's a perfectly valid argument, but people still don't love it. You know what I'm saying?
Cry.
It's just
people still cry.
They still cry about it. Yeah. No, you made a good point. No, you should be able to beat them. But yeah, so that's just another year. We'll see what he does. I wouldn't be surprised if he only ran one series. I kind of hope he does, and I hope this is just like a.
If Dimitri's out there listening somewhere, I'm glad you're still hanging out down there, bud. I'll be in your camp.
The old contrarian. But you have Dustin Farrell, hot pit guy. I've seen him drive a couple different times. Dude's a ripper. You got Dustin Miles coming back as usual. Always good to see you, buddy. Jeff Stoneback is the guy I'm kind of excited for. Now, obviously, he's former pro driver, obviously, right? From what years were that? Do you remember?
A long time ago.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
14?
I want to say it was like the 14 era is when he was a pro. I'm curious to see what car he brings for Prospect this year. But it's not like he's not been driving though. Like he still drives, like all the time. I've gone to like Drift Appalachia events and stuff, and he's been driving, and like the dude still drives. It's just not at like a competition level usually. He'll drive like LZ World Tours and stuff like that. But so I'm curious to see what he does coming into the Prospect series, and seeing, because I don't want to compare him to Daigo, but I'm also comparing him to Daigo in the fact that he was a competitive drifter 10 plus years ago, coming back into the series of professional drifting. Even though it's not the Pro Series, it's the Prospect Series, it's still going to be really cool to see if he can stay with what competition is like today.
Like that caliber of driver.
Right, because like pro in 2014, I would assume is probably similar to what Prospect was now. It's probably a little bit better in pro than in what Prospect is, but Obviously, the prospect cars are faster than the cars in 2014 were.
I mean, yeah, the cars are definitely. I mean, the grip levels are way higher. The power is way higher. Like the
Yeah,
cars are drastically
yeah,
different from what they
yeah,
were.
yeah. So like, and that's what I'm saying. Like prospects, not it's not like prospects a slouch. Like the prospect cars are still freaking fast. Um, so that's gonna be. I'm really curious to see how that goes, because I have not. I don't think I've seen him actually compete in a series in a long time at least. And Jack can correct me if he
In
has competed in the series.
what?
Um, but no, I'm excited. I'm excited to see him come back. You got Human, good old Human. You know, keep on going, Human. You know, and Human's a guy where I've talked to about, and he's perfectly content with driving this 4 rounds every year. He's made it in a budget way to where he can do this, and it makes sense for him, and the way his standard of living doesn't like get negatively affected just from running the series. So I'm expecting him to just keep running the series until he can't, and just enjoy it, because I know he loves just driving the series. You got Jacob Duncan, and that's a guy that if I'm correct.
Yeah, that's one of Brian Eggert's boys. That he comes out of the U.S. Drift Camp up
Okay.
there in the Northeast, and that kid rips. He's a shredder.
Hell yeah!
And then he's got a great car, great program. Like he's. I'm curious to see how his first season's gonna fare.
Yeah. Interesting. What kind of car is it? Do you know?
S13 coupe. I believe it's 2J, but maybe it's 1.5J, something like that. But I think he's 2JZ. Dog box, quick change. Pretty standard formula of a car. Good style to it. Good looking car.
Hell yeah! All right, and so we got Jason Webb next. Another guy that I'm not too sure on. I don't know him. You got Jaden coming back, Jay the Drifter, from Canada. Took a year off, and looks like he's coming back to the series. He was another kid that was looking pretty promising, I guess you could say. And then we have Jerry Johnson, who might be the front runner for this year, in terms of if you were going to pick a winner. It might have to be Jerry. I'd have to go back and look at the stats, which I can do here in a minute, and kind of check that out. But he might be the highest placed person that didn't get moved up. But I think Jerry might be your front runner, early front runner for prospect next year.
Yeah, he drove hard all year, man. Really cool car.
Yeah, and then you got Josh Stewart, another guy that I thought I was really impressed with last year. I think another guy that's going to be competing top 5. You got Casey Cole coming back for another year. Someday Casey's luck will change.
I think if he keeps the car out of some of the mishaps, right? Like he was looking so good in Atlanta this year. And then he, of course, found the wall and had some bad run of luck. And then he lost the motor in Jersey as a result of the wall hit up there or down there in Atlanta. Like, I think Casey could be a good bet of a front runner as long as he just doesn't have a bad string of luck again.
Yeah, no. So we'll see. You got Kelsey coming back as well. Always good to see Kelsey driving. And then I don't know how in the world you pronounce a name like this, but I'm going to say Christoph. And then I'm ignoring half the syllables in that name. But I'm going to say Christoph Kritul. Now, I'm hoping he's actually an overseas guy, because that would be kind of cool. I always appreciate overseas guys coming if they can. So, I don't know who that is either. But, hey, maybe we get some overseas action after all. Because I was kind of waiting to see if we were going to get any cool stuff in pro, and there's some guys, and we'll get to pro in a sec, but we got Levi Waite and another guy that I don't know a ton about, and then you got Lewis Lanes. Good to see Lewis coming back. He was looking more consistent last year. You got Matt Rusiski, Krutul 1 East 10. Okay, so he's not foreign, he's from here. So, okay, cool. So, East 10 guy, that means that's like middle of the country, I'm pretty sure.
Southeast. That's Tennessee.
Okay, yeah, Tennessee. I consider that middle of the country. It's the Midwest ish.
It's, it's southeast.
Yeah, southeast, middle, sort of. Because the West is more like over half the country, I feel like, for most people.
I
Once
mean,
you
I
get to like
guess.
past the Mississippi, it's kind of like the West.
He's not. They're not. East Ten isn't past the Mississippi though.
I know, but I didn't say they were West. I said they were like middle of the country, like Midwest, like middle.
But you just said West after
Yeah,
mid,
but
like Midwest
Michigan
means
said
West. You know,
like St.
like
Louis is Midwest. Like I don't know, man. Like when
I
people
think once
say
you get above,
Midwest, it's not actually West. Okay, they just say middle of the country
Tennessee is southeast
because
above
Mid East
Tennessee.
sounds weird. Midwest
What
sounds
did you?
better.
Did you say Middies?
Mid East.
Oh, Mid East. Yeah,
It
that's not
sounds.
right.
Yeah, no. Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. But Matt Ruski, however you say his name, another guy that I don't know too much about, and then Matt Schulman, guy I know plenty about. Good to see him. You know, I know he's had plenty of challenges over the years keeping the car together. So glad to see him making it up into the Prospect Series. You also got Bystrat coming back with his Mustang. Excited to see what he can do with another year of practice in that car. You got Shelly coming back as well. Hopefully we can keep like her on all four tires this year. Like
Preferably.
yeah, like I honestly I think Rudy would love it too. Honestly, if she could.
Yeah, way less stress on him, right?
You know, if people could just like take it a little easy on her this year.
The car couldn't have been that bad though, because like I'm almost positive Rudy was running her car at Long Beach too.
Oh really? Dang,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
that's funny. Yeah, cause it's just how it goes sometimes. But glad to see her coming back. You got Nick Yemenez coming back as well. Solid driver. Ryan Kaufman, guy who really impressed me last year with the RX-7. He made it work. May not have been the fastest car out there, but he was hitting all his marks, which was really cool to see. And then you got Sean Booth. The real question is, what car is Sean driving? That's what I want to know.
We're gonna play the rumor mill, what everybody was talking about before.
Yeah,
the end
I
of the
mean, is he
season.
driving one of Odie's cars, or is he driving one of Adam's cars? Is like,
I don't see why you would go out and test Odie's Prospect car if you weren't going to be potentially piloting it.
right? I feel like
For Prospect.
someone said something about Odie's car as well earlier, and that maybe someone else was using it. It might have
Could be.
been the Copham guy. Gosh, I'm trying
I
to
mean, I'm
find
sure
it in
it's the highest
chat.
bidder, right?
But yeah, you're right. Like obviously, if he was seen testing it, it kind of makes sense that he would be running that.
It's the best car for the series. It's already a championship winning car, right? So
Right.
if I was going to go in and had a chance at driving any car you wanted, like that's the one to pick.
Yeah. Chat's saying that he's running the S15, the red one. I would assume.
That's also sick because he drives that thing amazingly.
Yeah. So, I mean, either way, he's going to be a ripper regardless. But it's just I'm
Yeah,
curious
sure.
to see if because here's the thing, and I know Odie. Because just for context, I know I've talked to Odie a little bit about it, and he really last year wanted to focus on himself. That's kind of why him and Simon split up. Partially is because Odie wanted to really dedicate himself to the program. So I feel like if he was going to run a second car, it would be another pro car, though. I don't think he would waste his time with Prospec again. I think that was
I don't know, man, because like Prospect is less stress for at least half the season.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
You know, still get some income coming in from like renting out the car and all that, and then
Yeah.
on top of that, you have like a spare car with you if anything goes wrong at around that that we're not running Prospect.
Mm. Yeah, you make a good point there. That's true. I'm now told the red S15 is now black, which I guess I didn't know. It's been a minute since I've seen him drive, so. But I just remember
They
his
make-
red S15, but it might be black now. But again, if he's driving that car, he rips in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trevor Root coming back as well. We are missing a couple people now that I think about it. There's no Jack Davis that I see in here, which I'm kind of surprised about. And then you got Tyler Mayer, another guy I'm not sure about, but good to see Trevor back. I'm kind of surprised Jack's not in, and I did talk to him, and he was on the cusp of not being.
Remember, this isn't approved.
He had to be. Yeah, he had to be. Or he had to apply, and he said he applied to come back. So unfortunately, it sounds like they didn't accept him, which I find a real bummer because I thought he just had bad luck last year. Because he's been a guy that is consistent and has gotten like podiums in Pro Spec before. So that's kind of an unfortunate happening. There were a couple other people that pointed out some people that weren't in the list this year. I know Ferris didn't get approved again, which, I mean, I could see that coming. He just needs to go drive some more in some Pro-Am series and then come back. And I actually talked to him and see about it. And that's what he wants to do anyways, too. He wants to go, prove that he can drive and then come back, like, and prove that he should be there, because he kind of, I mean, he was, like, given an opportunity that most people don't get to go do. So he wanted to go earn his stripes and make sure that he can come back and do it properly. Connor, is Mike Power coming back? Well, my question, Connor, have you seen an engine in that car? For how long has it been?
It's been at least a year, right?
Yeah, no. No, I do not think Power coming back, and I miss him. Like, it's a kind of a sad story, I feel like. But yeah, no, I don't think he's coming back anytime soon, unfortunately. Doesn't look like it's for this year. And I'm gonna, before I move over to the pro side, dude is depressed as fuck. Well, he does have the emo guy lingo going for him. So I'm gonna go see what you guys said in the chat real quick, and then we'll move over to pro. Let's see. Him listening to all of us. Andrew, Kate. Let's see. Stoneback was Rookie of the Year in 2014. Stopped, I think, in 2017, is what Nick Novak said. So, ran
Nick's
pro for 3 years.
He drove one of the Forsberg cars back then. You know what I mean? Like, he ran the 370 with that VK motor in it.
Yeah. No, and he's a good driver. So, like I said, I'm excited to see how he handles the change in competition. Plus
the spec rules, right? Like the smaller tire and all that.
Yeah, and I mean, depending on what he drives, I don't think he'll have a problem setting up a car for the small tire. But
no.
What's up, chat? Says 170T. See, this is why I like Brandon here, because he's the one that's supposed to read the chat. Andrew Kate says, I hope to see my boy Trevor Root to be on more boxes. Shout out Trevor Root.
Yeah, shout out the Roots, man. Funnest team in Pro Spec by far.
Hell yeah. So what? Hold up. Jason Webb is a South African drifter.
So he's coming some distance.
Can somebody confirm or deny that with me? That's what Jason Holt Hausen said in chat. So I am curious now. We got. She is. It is. Oh yeah, people are like confused because Michelle is, or Shelly. People don't recognize Shelly's name because it's Michelle.
I mean, the dude's Instagram says 4-time SA drift champion.
South American drift. Okay. Interesting. That'll be fun.
Drives a Mustang.
Yeah, no. So that'll be cool. I'll have to look up some of these profiles. Did you happen to see his Instagram or what it was?
What his handle?
Yeah.
It's Web Drift 45.
Because now I'm curious. Now I want to pull it up.
Yeah, go look at it. Poke around. You know what I mean?
Web drift.
Web with 2 B's.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right. Let's check this out.
Yeah, poke around it a little bit. See what's out there.
Here we go, guys. So this is Jason Webb. Looks like he's got a monster hat. So got a Mustang in South America.
You have to have a monster hat if you're driving a Mustang. I think
know,
it's like
I
think they give it to you when you purchase the car.
So this is a 550. It's a 550, isn't it?
I don't know the chassis codes of anything
Mustang.
past SN95.
I don't know Mustang.
I know SN95. I know Fox Body, SN95, and New Edge. That's it.
Yeah, this is an S550. Interesting. I don't know, guys.
But you think he's going to ship that car over?
The question is what is he bringing over? You know, right?
Yeah, like is he going to ship that, or is he going to rent or buy a car here
and drive? Yeah.
We've seen that a lot. A lot of people come from overseas and just get a car that's someone's retired pro car or something like that.
Yeah. No, it's cool. No, this is like I said, I want some. It's always fun to have international guys, and the cool thing is I'm glad that he's in pro spec. Personally, just because obviously he's not coming from a series like a Drift Masters or something like that. So I think it makes sense for a pro spec level when you're coming from like a country that doesn't necessarily have the competition of a Drift Masters or something like that. Because I'm sure he's like it says 4-time South American Drift Champion. He's probably done the best he can possibly do in his area. So there's no really other way for him to prove to go to pro. So I think pro spec kind of makes sense in this scenario.
I agree with that completely, man. Like, it can be a hazard to some degree to put somebody up into pro that isn't ready or shouldn't be there, right? And pro specs like that good middle ground. And then on top of that, it gives them a chance to really see if the financials make sense that they can do it. Because, 4 rounds versus 8, half the country-ish versus the whole country. A lot of variables there.
100%. All right, so now it's time to look at the pro list. And
did it change?
It's a whole lot of the same. Apart from, and like even the new guys are guys we've seen before, So like I don't even know if there's a new name on this list.
Pro there is, but yeah, like you said, it's still guys we know.
Right, yeah, they're all prospect guys. It's like, or you get like a Diego Higa and a Masayama coming back. So it's like 2 guys we've already seen. Which I'm glad Higa's back, by the way. I can't wait to see all the Brazilians in the chat. I missed you guys.
Oh man.
But
let's turns.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and go back over the list of pro. Actually, there was one more comment. Apologize that I wanted to quick. No Lee Bird in prospect, which I'm a little bummed about. I want to see Lee back in here. We need some more RBs, buddy. Come back from the D someday.
Well, if Booth brings the 15, I believe that car's an RB, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct. Yes. So we might get some kind of RB.
Why is someone in the chat attacking Herbie who's not even here?
Because it's Herbie.
Poor Herbie, dude.
Oh man. Yeah. No, I mean I'm pretty sure he's asleep right now. He was struggling. He's like,
It's all
dude,
jacked up on
everything.
painkillers.
He's like, everything hurts. I'm like, dude, you can just sit this one out. Like, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So let's check out the list real quick. No surprise, you got Adam LZ. Alec Robbins going to try and make a comeback for this year. Obviously, I know financially he was just not able to run last year. So hopefully he can get stuff together to run this year.
Good to see him back, actually.
Yeah, no. I mean, he's a guy that you obviously, he's a good driver. Like, I'm not surprised
Absolutely.
to see him back, and no gripes about him coming back. Andy Haley, no surprise there, coming back.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, he does drive, every once in a while, but I mean, his car's still gonna break all the time, but it's no big deal, just
easy. He gets back out there.
Yeah, I know. You got Odie, you got Mata coming back, you got Hobson coming back, you got Sorensen, Forsberg, Cody moving up, you got Cole Richards, which we kind of talked about last week as kind of a surprise, but also made sense to me why he would get approved to come up. You have Connor O'Sullivan coming back, Connor Shanahan coming back, Corey Talaska, the other guy that got moved up that was outside the top 3. Again, we talked about it last week. Makes sense. You got Dan Burkett coming back, Stuckey, Madison Higa, Brutski, Hughes, Freddie, Fetty, and then Freddie. You got Manoah, which is interesting to see Manoah on this list. That means there's still hope he's coming back. Although I'm doubting that he is, but maybe he'll come back for a round or two.
What's the rumor around that? I haven't seen anything about that.
He is gonna drive WRC.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, and that's what he wants to do. Assuming things went well with testing, and I didn't hear about how that went, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he's gonna be driving for WRC for Toyota. So doing cool. Serious things. Jack Shanahan, James Dean, Jeff Jones, Castro, Hurst, Gucci, Field, Nate Chen, the other guy that's being moved up. You got Nick Novak, Rome Charpentier, Rudy Hansen, Ryan Littrell, Ryan Turk, Simon Olsen, Tommy Lemaire, Trenton Beecham, Vaughn Gittin, and Masayama coming back, hopefully for his full season, because I think he's a guy that's going to be an interesting...
He came out as a step in, over the Daigo stuff, right? Like, man, he stepped in. It was like he should have been driving that car all year.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm excited to have him back. It's interesting, like the rookies are just the prospect guys, and then we'll see how many runs Vaughn makes, It's like
one.
Right. It's like, I don't know, man. So there's 40 drivers. I appreciate that, FD. We have more drivers. The likelihood that all of these drivers are going to be driving, is, hit or miss. I personally was hoping for a bigger list, but I guess, and this is something I need to ask FD at some point, is, are there other guys on a quote-unquote waiting list, which I think the answer is yes, and they can only have 40 names be released at a time, just by the way they do things. So, like, that's kind of my next question, because I'm curious to hear, because I know in Prospect they had a bunch of guys apply that I know that didn't get approved. I know a couple of them. And then in Pro, you have a lot of the same guys, which, is fine, but I wanted to know, okay, did Monahan try to, petition back in? Or did someone else try to petition back in? Did Mike Power try to come back, So, like, those are all questions I'm kind of curious about, is, like, I guess you have the 40 driver cap. My question is, if some of these drivers jump out, like a Horoya goes and drives WRC, is there room for another driver to jump in, Because that was the problem last year. And actually, who was I talking to? I think it was Cody Buchanan. And if it wasn't Cody, if it wasn't you, Cody, I'm sorry. But at the beginning of the year last year, like right before Long Beach, they went to Cody Buchanan and said, you can drive pro if you want. And Cody's like,
Really?
what the hell? Like, we were like 2 weeks from Long Beach. And he's like, my car's not ready. And we didn't plan to go run pro because, like, he wasn't, like, approved or whatever to run pro. And it's like, because they lost so many drivers last minute, they lost 11 drivers from the previous year last year. And so what I want to know is if they have backup plans for other people to jump in if people jump out. Because I hope they do. Because I am worried about some of the people
you
on
want a
this.
full 40 field.
Right, because I'm worried about some of the people on this list that they're actually driving this year. And that's kind of my question, I guess, to FD. Because it would be good to, get that. It'd be good to be like, and then you have like people on a wait list, which would be kind of cool to see what that I mean, they're never going to tell you the wait list, but it would be kind of cool to know what that wait list looks like. Did like a Jimmy Yoke supply? I'm curious.
What if it was like crazy long? What if they had like like a
dude?
It
would just be kind of cool to know, like who's trying to drive pro, But like one of the guys I was curious about, and I kind of knew, because people have seen Jimmy, for example, building a pro car. I happen to know what it's for, but I was kind of half hoping he would also run a little bit of FD as well. But
FD takes a big toll on cars, so if you build it for something else, you know what I mean? A lot of guys don't want to risk bringing it to any other series, really. Like, usually if you build a car for a series, that series is going to put a beating on that car anyways, and a lot of guys just don't want to risk something happening to it outside of whatever thing they built it for.
Yeah, I just didn't know what his timeline was, because I know what he's driving, but it's like it'd be kind of cool if he got practice, a year of practice in the car not there. But I guess we'll see what he does. But in terms of like other drivers, I always wonder about like a JTP or like a any of those guys, or like former FD drivers that used to do pretty well. Like what happened to Dean Kearney? Like, is he still alive? Like, I'm always curious.
He's still alive. You saw him in a couple rounds this year. He surfaces. He's got to look really hard.
So it's like I'm curious to see what this year holds, but I'm a little bummed we didn't get any like fun new guys. I would consider the funnest guy that we got Diego Higa, but obviously we've had him before. But I'm so happy Diego's back, because his fans are a freaking riot.
I'm excited for some of the rookies, right? Like, I think Cole's going to come up and really make some waves in the series. Personally, like
I think he's got a chip on his shoulder from prospect.
He should. He absolutely should. And
he got something to prove.
Same with Corey, and Nate Chen's consistent. So I think we'll see some good stuff out of those guys this year.
I do have a topic to get to on them about, because I'm curious to see what they do next year. But let me get this super chat from Cyrus real quick. Cyrus drifts. I'm hoping Levi does well. I drift with him here in Colorado and watched him get his license here. Well, that's good to know. Levi was a prospect guy. Cyrus, in chat, if you want to, give me just a quick breakdown of what he's driving, that would be awesome. Just so I can tell everyone else a little bit more about Levi. You don't need a super chat. Just chat, and I'll get more info. But thank you again for the 5, buddy. Back to the pro guys that moved up. So a lot of the pro guys that moved up. So you have Chen, you have Cole Richards, and who? Obviously you have Talaska. Who is the other guy? Cody. So the two of those guys were running NA engines with nitrous, and I'm curious to see, because they both Cole and Nate Chen moved away from blowers because of reliability issues. So I'm really curious to see what they do moving up to pro. for their power adders, and or are they going to do power adders? Are they going to do expensive NA nitrous engines? I doubt it, but so like that would be my question of, okay, so what is now the solution that they need the power? Because in Prospect you can get away with 650, 700.
Yeah, anyone running more than that is really just burning off extra tire for no reason, in my opinion, right? Because like at some point you're gonna make more than what the spec tire can really hold, and then now you're just killing your tire wear.
Gotcha. Yeah, I
But
mean it.
I would think they should all go back to blowers, but I am biased.
Yeah, I know. Well, you figured out a setup that works, and that's always
Most of
been
the time.
most of the time, right? And that's the challenge is, um, I feel like no, like a huge killer in FD is reliability. With
Absolutely.
so many drivers, and we've seen a lot of drivers that will show really good spurts, but then the car will just fail them. I always think of Barry On as a guy that would show spurts of like being a good driver, but the car would always fail him. You look at a guy like Literal, good
Great
driver.
driver.
Where's the car half
Terrible
the time? It's like
Terrible car. Great driver. Terrible car most of the time. But when it works, it's like, man, that thing shreds.
exactly. So it's like, for me, reliability is killed so many people's seasons, um, just from that fact. And a guy that I'm gonna always use an example is like a Jonathan Hurst, who went and tries a different vehicle when he had something that worked, and then you kind of see him flounder in the back of the pack now, and it's like, and it's an unfortunate circumstance where I'm like, if you would have just went with what was tried and true, you had the BMW all set up, you were super competitive, and then it's now you got this one-off kind of car. I mean, I know it's a Corvette, but it's also not a Corvette. You can't use
Yeah, I
the
mean, it is
Corvette.
what it is. And that car comes with its own set of hurdles, right? Like
Yeah, and
everything, every part of it is expensive body wise. And I was so excited to see it personally.
it's a cool,
Because
it's a cool
they're
idea.
so
It's just,
cool. But
it's a cool idea if you have the budget. You don't have Federico's budget. Federico's budget.
Federico's budget doesn't make sense either because the Ferrari, while is nifty and interesting, I think will always be a fight to be a good car.
And here's my argument.
For this.
Here's my argument for Fetty. He is not trying to win. He is trying to
I
market.
don't think that's true, man. He had Chelsea helping him that one time.
No, I know. It's not. That's not my point. That's not my point. I'm saying he's not trying to win because he's obviously trying to win, but his main goal is viewers and attention, and the guy that's driving the Ferrari and marketing eyes, and for him that is way more valuable than wins. Because if it was the other way around, he would drive a car that's much more competitive than what it is.
Okay,
and that's my point.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But he has the budget to run a fancy car like that. You got a Darren Kelly running a freaking Aston Martin because he can. Not because it's most competitive. He's running it because he can. For marketing purposes. And but you have to have the budget to do that. And that's the problem with Hurst, is he doesn't have the budget to run one of these unique cars, keep it looking nice, keep it competitive, because Hurst is a guy that's competitive. He's a guy that wants to win, and I think he would personally benefit more from a win than he would trying to market a vehicle that he has a tough time keeping together.
Yeah, he could definitely, market winning.
But again, he's kind of stuck now with it.
Drive.
No, that's what I'm saying. He can drive.
Though, is he actually stuck with it? Because you could just sell that thing off and slap another E46 or E36 or one of the many, competitive.
That's if he had the money. That's the challenge, right? Though, because I know financially he was on the struggle bus by the end of the year this year. And
what privateer team isn't?
Right. I just worse than other years that I've known him, And I know we we had like a little talk about like at the end of this year, who do we think is a guy that's probably not coming back? And my vote was Hurst, because I didn't see how he was gonna, and there's always ways to, get money or find people to, fund things. And I mean, you got a guy like Derek Madison. Like, how much is that guy gone through? And he's still running the series too. So it's like, there's people find a way, But for me, I like to see people thriving in FD, and when I see people struggling, it's and when it's struggling because they kind of did a different decision than probably what would have been conventionally smart for them. It's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bummer for sure.
Because if in my opinion, if he was running that BMW for the last 3 years, he'd be fighting for top 15, top 10 position.
Oh, easily. He's always, I mean, he's been a good driver since the first time I really ran across him when we were all running.
When I met him, he was not a good driver.
Orange
so.
350Z. He still drove it pretty good back then in that orange twin turbo 350Z, man. It was like 20.
It was a very fast car in a not so fast car field. But he made it work.
Yeah. I think he drove it pretty well.
Yeah.
I think he got better with time, but I think he was better than, I don't know, your average person at the time, right? Like,
right. Yeah. No. It's just interesting to see how it goes, and there's a couple of drivers I'm really curious to see for next year, how they do. One of the guys I was really disappointed in this year was Turk, in terms of just level of driving. I thought he took a huge dip backwards in like competition and stuff. Just watching, and I know he in like Long Beach literally lucked his way to a top 4, but it was. I'm curious to see how next season goes, because I know his contract is going to be up with Toyota at the end of next year, so that's a guy that I'm kind of looking at, seeing what he's going to be doing next year, and see if he can kind of pull back together like a solid season. Another guy I'm curious to see, who kind of had a lot of bad luck last year, was Dan Burkett. I thought, Dan just, the car was there, but then he would, there was just weird scenarios that I felt like he would mess up, and it wasn't, I don't know. Like, Dan's a guy that I've always felt is a really, really good driver, but like the littlest things will take him out, or like the weirdest.
I mean, great car, great driver. Right, and then just
he's on the Wisefab now in the rear too, which was the big change for this year. So the car is competitive.
I just saw that car last weekend, and he was shredding. I mean, he won our round, right? Like,
right.
He drove the wheels off it all weekend long. So I think he could step into a better spot next year for sure.
Yeah,
I at least hope he does.
Right. So, but yeah, no, I was like I said, I was hoping to see like a Jack Shanahan or Connor Shannon type name kind of jump in this year as like another new guy to kind of, spice things up, like, because we were spoiled was it the year that we had Manoa, Connor Shanahan come over, and then obviously the year after that we had Jack Shanahan come over. I mean, we had Masayama come over last year. Like, we had kind of got spoiled.
Some big names come out of nowhere. Daigo was back last year, right?
Daigo, yeah. So, like, I'm kind of a little bummed that we didn't get one of those fun names. I mean, Higa is obviously a fun name, but again, he's already been here. So, like, I would have loved to see, like, what's it take to get a Vicek back, or what's it take to get a Dwayne McKeever? What does it take to get, a Lori Heinonen, or one of those guys that, can shred to come over here and drive?
Yeah.
But that's just a conversation for another day. But it's like,
I'm
hoping for something interesting, but it looks like it's going to be a lot of the same from last year. What's that?
That's what I hope Nick Novak has a better season this coming year.
Oh yeah,
he had a lot of mechanical stuff going on this year, and I know he's worse, right, and he just kept getting the same kind of string of just bad luck time and time again.
Dude, he's one of those guys, and like every time I would come by, like something was going on with that car.
And
I know they're changing a lot of stuff for next year, to hopefully help fix a lot of those issues. So I'm really hopeful that next year he's going to come out swinging and be pretty competitive, because he can drive. It's just, is the car there? That's another one of those guys. But I don't know. Do you think Literal's going to post again and say, hey, maybe I'll run an LS this year again?
I almost want to just text him and be like, hey, bud, you staying RB or what?
Yeah, I know, right?
I wish he would do any other engine platform.
I know. Just be like, hey, bud, are you tired? Are you tired of spending all of your money on this engine? Would you like to save a spare $100,000 a year?
He's getting better with them, though, man. Like, he's having, as the years progress.
See, this is the problem, though. Like, you get better, you get confidence, and then he goes and blows it up in Atlanta.
I mean, stuff blows up. I mean, we've seen, countless LSs blow up and everything else, right? Like, sometimes stuff just goes wrong. I'm just saying, since he kind of debuted, like, the big, crazy RB setup, at the very least, as the years have progressed, it has improved marginally.
Mm-hmm.
I think this year more than most. He just had one more bad one this year that just set him back a little bit.
Yeah. All right. So chat's got a couple good things here that I wanted to hit up. First is no Fink. That is correct. No Fink. And if you got how can I say this? I'm not surprised personally. I am not at all surprised actually that he is not, I mean, and it's not because of his driving, it's because of everything else about him that I've kind of seen be the struggle, whether it's the financials, it's the sponsors, it's, all of that kind of stuff. It's always been a challenge for him and with him. So, I'm not surprised to not see him on the list. And I was honestly skeptical. When I saw his name on the list last year, I was really skeptical he was even going to do it. Just knowing his background and his story. But another comment as well. Where was it? I think and this is from B4RP. I think it's unfair they allow Vaughn to race in only one or two events. Either he competes the whole season or he gives the car or someone else to drive for the rest of the rounds. And I totally agree. Like, how sick would it be if, like, he drove a couple rounds and then had to give the car to someone else to drive the rest of the rounds, Whether
what
it's...
if they just made it like a rotation of, like,
him, Denova, or
champions that don't drive anymore,
right? Yeah.
Just show up as, like, a wild card for one round in Vaughn's RTR car.
It'd be sick.
It'd be kind of rowdy.
It'd be sick. But yeah, no, I don't like the fact that it's going to take up a 40 or spot on the 40 driver list. Like, if you're a partial year driver, you shouldn't be on this list, in my opinion. You should be like a partial year driver, aka a wild card. FD.
That's it.
He's technically a wild card driver. You could do it. Just saying. But yeah, so that's another thing that's kind of annoying, but I mean, we'll see. I mean, let's be honest though, Vaughn's got a lot better things to do than probably drive FD, in terms of,
like, drive his GTD around.
Yeah. So
that's what I would be doing personally.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, let's see. I'm gonna go back to some of these older comments. Fetty, David says Fetty's a wasted spot, and then Squimby's like, at least Fetty shows up to every round. Valid point. And
let's do that.
And I'm going to, and Powerful Lance is like, Mohan deserves a license over Fetty. I mean, the reason Mohan didn't drive last year was because of money, just so people know. It wasn't because he wasn't approved. It was because of money. Now, I don't know if he applied this year or anything, but just to kind of defend Fetty for a second, what Fetty does is he brings a very unique element to drifting. I think FD really likes having the Ferrari, even though it may not be a super competitive chassis and may not be like on a podium or anything. I think FD likes having some of the the fancy stuff in FD, and I think they'll make exceptions for that. Like if, for example, Darren Kelly wanted to come back with an Aston Martin, I don't think they'd bat an eye. They'd be like, hell yeah, that would be sick, you know. Like I think FD kind of likes using that in marketing as marketing for the series to be like, hey, this guy's got a cool Ferrari, like it's kind of unique and different, you know. I think FD finds more value than that than having, say, a Mohan, which Mohan does have a unique car. It's a rotary powered Miata, but or
RX-8 or RX-7,
yeah, or whatever he drives. But it's cool, but it's not a Ferrari, you know, from a marketing perspective. Get ready for it. You know, Higa, already seen some Higa fans in the chat. Good to see you guys. We're going to have a lot of fun in the old live streams this year. Might have made a little breakthrough on the live streams. We'll see about that. Something very interesting popped up that I might try and do next year. FD should try some wild cards like Fangadan and Heinonen, and it's weird. It's like I already said that for many of these shows. I agree with you, DCS. I wish we could do that. He looked good on the Netflix with the old Mustang. That I think you're talking about Barry on, which I know he was demoted down to Pro Spec, and I'm sure he just didn't want to go do that.
Didn't he go do Hybrid Drive or whatever?
No, you're right.
Well?
Yes, I'm thinking of Barry on. Barry on had the Mustang. Did he have a Mustang as well?
I thought Barry on had a Corvette on Hyperdrive, and Higa had the Mustang. I thought.
I can't even remember anymore.
Because Higa ran 1 year of Pro Spec or Pro 2. I don't remember which one it was, but he only drove like one round in that Mustang.
Yeah. I don't remember, but yes, you are correct. I mean, Higa's a good driver. Higa is a guy that I'm not worried about. He's going to be competing mid-pack, no problem.
Yeah, he's going to be fine.
He's a really good driver. So I'm not complaining about Higa at all.
We'll pack all of us.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be a good time. Got more people complaining about Vaughn. Yeah, I mean, I get it.
We know.
Yeah, I know. Think going to DMEC or no? I highly doubt it, personally. I know Baryon will compete in DMEC with the Mustang. Well, he did last year. I don't know if he's going to do it this year. Let's see. Yeah, that's what I thought. Phil said Baryon drove a 60s Mustang. That's what I thought he drove.
Oh, okay. I don't remember.
Yeah, Baryon drove the Corvette in FD. So both of them drove S1. Yeah, Higa drove the S197. That's right. So, isn't Baryon still competitive in Brazil? If he drives regularly, I don't see why he would need to go to Pro Spec. They demoted him to Pro Spec due to performance last year, because I think he either didn't finish a couple of the rounds due to car issues, or just he had a lot of issues with that Corvette. Like, it never ran right, and then it would run right for like a couple runs, and then that's all he would drive the whole weekend. So I think FD got to a point where they just said, hey, you need to go down to Pro Spec and prove that you can actually get a car running and be competitive. And FD did that before everyone else pulled out of FD. So, in my opinion, I think FD would have gone back on that decision if they knew they were going to lose like 11 drivers.
Probably so.
Yeah. But so no, he got moved down based on his performance not last year, but the year before that. And then he didn't come back.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's what you said, not completing the season either. Like, I think he missed the last 3 rounds or something like that.
Yeah, he missed a couple rounds. And so FD does not like it when you say you're going to go to rounds and then miss them. Now, Literal's still here, but I think it was a pretty understandable case, but that's why a guy like Forrest Wang is not on this list.
Yep.
But yeah, so and then obviously Baryon didn't actually come and drive the Prospect Series, so I'm pretty sure if he wants to come drive FD, he has to drive Prospect, just based on how things kind of ended up. I don't think FD is going to go back on their word and say, hey, no, you can drive Pro now. I don't think they're going to do that. And I don't think they're... And I personally don't think FD is lacking in drivers. They're just really picky about who they let in, which is good, but I'm more of the opinion of higher driver counts make FD more interesting. And I still think we could use more. But
I mean, I think FD just needs drivers that will for sure be at every round. I think that's like one of their biggest, pickiest topics now is who's going to be here the whole year no matter what.
100%. Yeah. No, I think wasn't it 2 years ago we were missing all kinds of drivers. I feel like, and there was all kinds of issues with things. And I know Baryon, Wang, Vaughn, like I think there
that was 2 years ago for sure.
Yeah, and it was just a weird season. But
yeah, it was.
But yeah, so that is the driver list for FD. Not that exciting in my opinion, but I am happy Higa's back. Shout out Higa and Masayama. I'm excited to see what Masayama can do this year. But kinda people we knew. Not gonna lie, but maybe. And I'm not. This is obviously not their final list. The list will change, most likely. So I'm sure there might be still a surprise for next year. So don't lose all hope. But it is.
Well, I mean, you might not even see some of these guys.
And I was about to say you're probably going to lose a couple people on this list. So this is not their final list. I mean, last year's list like this, we missed a bunch of guys. So we'll see what it is for next year. But without further ado, why don't we move into the next topic at hand? I did bring Kurtis on, who has a zillion years of experience in, wrenching on cars and dealing with, FD and being a crew chief there and stuff. And I'm sure we have tons of fun stories to get to, but that's going to be the last part of the show.
I don't think I can say most of them on here.
Yeah, well, we'll be picky. There is one specific question I need to ask, but before we get to that, you took your hand at trying to, I don't know if run a drift organization is the right term, but help run a drift series this year. I'm curious, first question is, have you done something like that before? And two, I guess two is, what does that all entail? Like, what all did you have to do to help run Kultch Kickers this year?
Well, so I mean, I've obviously like put drift events together in the past, like private days and smaller things. Nothing anywhere close to the caliber of what this was. At best we did a couple like fun competitions and made things up as we went and just goofed off. But this was a whole nother monster, because it's like you're going from messing around and having fun to paying out real money, doing real things, and trying to run as close to a professional series as you can, right? As far as helping run it, like I started at it as trying to be the technical director, and that was my only role. And then as the year progressed on, as the season progressed on, I ended up just running the whole thing. I had a great team behind me. A lot of people involved are wonderful people, and they kind of just like went with what I said was right and what we needed to do, and just kind of adapted all season. But it's hard. It's crazy. It is insanely long days at the events, and even longer in between, right? Like you work on it nonstop all the time.
100%. I'm just quick pulling up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Some Kultch Kickers stuff just so we can have that in the background playing while talk about it. Obviously, you guys was it 5 rounds this year?
Yeah. We started in April and we just finished last weekend.
Correct. Okay, and it was all at Mid Pond.
Yep.
So I guess first question is, how would you grade the season for Clutch Kickers? Because I will say you had the unenviable task of trying to bring this brand back from the dead, and but also, like it has such a story. It's not storied history, but like I don't know, a fond memory of history, or like you know what I'm saying. Like it was such a cool series when it first started
Yeah,
that
of course.
it was a really hard challenge to live up to. And I'm trying to remember. You guys even had some issues, like I think track wise, at the beginning of the year. Um, didn't you have to move the first round, if I remember correctly?
Oh, I mean, we
It,
changed our schedule a couple times
yeah.
this season or
Mm-hmm.
before the season started. Um,
Yeah.
but all that was, none of that was really track issues. That was more just like schedule conflicts and
Right. Yeah.
trying, since the series is now owned by the racetrack,
Interesting. Okay.
we have more flexibility than anybody else, right? And so we spent arguably too much time trying to make sure we weren't stepping on any toes and trying to keep the love of drifting alive by not conflicting with guys and making drivers choose between where and what they're going to do.
Right.
So we did change the schedule. I think we changed it twice from when we originally released it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't anything really with the track. The track's
Right.
been the same for
Yeah.
years.
Yeah. I didn't. I wasn't trying to say it was because of the track, but I was just saying like it was like it
Oh
just
yeah.
seemed like there was a challenge getting the series started. Like off the ground and
I mean,
running.
there was
And yeah.
a ton of challenges with that, and it's like what you said, right? Like Clutch Kickers was, I mean, it was one of the first, if not the first, consistent multiple season outside of FD, like stiff competition, big payout drift series. They built an incredible brand down there on what they did down there in Holt, and then even going into Freedom Factory. And so when we started trying to bring it back, it was like those are big shoes to fill. And personally, I think probably the first 2 rounds we weren't even close, right? Like if we're going like high school grading, we were like just above failing, right?
Right.
Um, and then I think by 3 we really started to kind of like catch our pace, and we were correcting everything and moving in the right direction. That's right around the same time that I also brought Zach Poloff back in on it, right? He's
Yeah.
like Clutch Kickers is his baby, that is his brainchild, that's who created it and really put in the strong foundation of what it is. um, so he came in as one of my judges and race director and helped me out left and right, and just we talked a lot. I'm sure if I tried to call him now, he wouldn't. He's probably not going to answer a phone call for me for the next couple months, and I wouldn't blame him.
Yeah. Right.
But I think by like 4 and 5, right? Like I think now we're like, okay, we're still not where it was, but we are way closer than we were at the start of the season.
100%. And that's what I was. That's what I kind of noticed there when I briefly kind of checked in a little bit. Like, and you did a couple things that I really liked. But like you said, I think the last couple rounds were really. You had some big name drivers in there. You had some good competition. Like
Yeah,
like there was no slouch of winners. Like if you won this event, like you were a good driver. And with what you guys did this year, I thought it was really cool. You guys ended up using the Wally system,
yep.
and it's one of the more unique aspects of your series. And obviously, I think you guys were the first really. Oh, I don't know if you. I don't want to say you guys were the
We're the
first.
first in the United States,
You're first in
for
the
sure.
United States to implement it, and it was like watching it on the live. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And um, I guess kind of explain to me how that went this year, and where you see the Wally system being used in the future series, and like how would you recommend a series use it, or just how was it?
Yeah, I mean, so it's I don't know if you guys know like the parent company, right? Like Wally is what the system is, but Race Data Labs developed that thing, and it is for sure going to revolutionize drifting, in my opinion. It's going to change how we do a lot of judging, how we can really make calls, how we analyze things. It is an incredible tool to drivers as well as the series. It's you have live data from practice that you can go back and watch. Um, those tough calls where you're like, did he slow down? Did he not slow down? You can really deep dive a lot of stuff. I think as far as like the future of it in drifting, I firmly believe it should probably always be an aid, in my opinion. Like, it's a judge's aid. It is telemetry data, and it's very, very, very useful. And maybe way down the road, it could be a standalone judge in and of itself. It's almost there now, and we kind of saw that. The first 2 rounds we just used it as the judges' tools and the judges' aids, but then by round 4, we decided to run qualifying solely with Wally was the judge for qualifying. And I've always been, you've heard me say it a lot over the years you've known me, I love qualifying. I'm a big fan of it. I love watching it. I never liked inconsistencies in qualifying, where you have your first handful of cars should score high, but you can't score high because how are you going to score higher than that if someone does do better, right? So when you use Wally, he's able to be attached to the cars and just plumb out a score, and it's the same score. Everyone's judged on the same platforms. There's no, there's no subjectiveness to it.
Right.
There's no opinion. And on top of that, it makes qualifying go through crazy fast because, like, the moment the run's over, it has a number, it puts it on the scoreboard, and then on their website, racedatalabs.com, you can go to and see all the data on the site, and it'll tell you like fun scores, like who had the best line, who had the best angle, who was the fastest around the course, and then it'll also show you the leaderboard of kind of like where the qualifying order is falling at the time. And that just, I think if you only used it for that, right, which would be a waste of the system,
right?
But if like that was the only thing you used it for, even that is a massive win.
Right. Yeah. No, and you bring up such interesting ideas of like just using it as qualifying, because it really is, it's hard because, like, I think one of the elements that you kind of said you guys were using was speed, which is kind of a hard one to, I feel like, judge to put in, but like using angle, using points to make sure you hit on the track, and being that precise of measurements is like, that's better than human judging from my perspective. Like, because obviously human eyes are limited on what you can see smoke wise, but a Wally system, you can see through smoke, like,
and you're correct 100%.
So like, as
you can wind it back, wind it forward, you have like 360-degree views on it. Like, it's a crazy system.
Yeah. And it's it's really, really cool, and I'm hoping that it's something that I think obviously FD needs to certainly take a look at as well. But it's the system itself. I'm curious, how hard was it to implement, like on a technical basis, like hooking it up?
It's not bad. So those guys, the guys that developed it, were there for 3 rounds out of the season, and then the rest of the time it all kind of fell on one of our judges, and they trained him on everything. And so you have like about 1 day of setup time, right? So we ran Friday practice, so if you got there on Thursday, you'd kind of set up everything to run it, and it's a while. Like, you literally take the device and you walk the entirety of the track, like the inside edge, the outside edge, and then when you get that kind of in place, they build the track map, and then after that, you go around and you walk in each and every single zone, however we've laid them out and painted them, and then that's a true one. Like, it's all off of GPS data. And then as far as swapping the devices out, you just, car pulls up, they're held on with 4 little magnets, and they have a key code that they scan off the top, and then the base plate sticker that shows you where to put them, and you just pop it off and pop it on. So it's not a crazy time consuming thing.
Right. No, that's cool. Interesting. And obviously it like you said, it brings a really cool element to when you guys when you guys are using it on the live stream, I always really like to view and seeing what those cars were doing. But um, you were talking about like obviously walking the track and stuff. For your 5 rounds, did you guys do different ish? And I guess I don't know mid pond that well because obviously I don't think there's too many different layouts you can do. But did you guys like change some zones around, or like did you kind of keep it the same for the all 5 rounds?
No, so I went on a format of like every round was a different layout, and
Okay.
then one like round one we ran counterclockwise direction on the track, and
Okay.
so round two we ran clockwise, and so each event I would flip it back, and then we would change where the start line was, what zones we were doing, and there was like some overlap naturally,
Right. Yeah.
but I tried really hard to at least do a little bit different each time. As far as the Wally system went, like it was different every time.
Gotcha. So you'd have to rewalk the track each round, and
Yep.
okay, cool, interesting. Yeah, that's a it's an interesting side quest that I think you guys did really cool stuff with, and from what it sounds like, I mean, like you were saying, the last couple rounds kind of were hitting marks that you wanted to hit, and I guess I'm just kind of curious, is that like is this series like what's the word? I want to say healthy, but like is it like something that we probably are going to see in the future? Like what's kind of the idea with clutch triggers now? Because it seems like by the last couple rounds, we were starting to get some pretty competitive driving going.
Yeah, I mean, the plan was always kind of like to bring it back, and we knew that this year was going to be an uphill fight, right?
Yeah.
Like you're reviving a series, it's doesn't the way it ended and everything else. Like there wasn't a lot of confidence in it anymore, and so we had to fight through that. But I mean, and you know this, like I know a lot of people in this drifting world, and I'm sure most of them were tired of talking to me all year, trying to get them to come out and drive it. And round four, we kind of got some bigger names out there. Round three as well, and then round five, we got a bunch of them coming down. It was really cool to have Dan Burkett out there. He has done nothing but talk positive about it ever since. How much fun the track is, how fun the event was, and I think that's kind of like a testament to how we put it together and did it. Uh, we're gonna do season. I call it season two because it's season two of the new Clutch Kickers at Mid Pond, right? So we're gonna do that next year for sure. We'll release some dates. I don't know, soon, very, very, very soon. I'll release
Cool.
some dates, but we'd like to keep growing it to where we're a competitive, more professional side series, while also kind of keeping that bridge built of like you don't have to have the 900 horsepower car to come out here and compete and kind of hold your own. Like round four, Hayden Kittrell got third place. That was a bone stock VQ car. I think it might have had exhaust and an intake on it.
Right.
So it's it works well, and I
Right.
think it's a good time, and I'd like to I'd like to keep doing it as long as we can, as long as
Right.
it's feasible.
Yeah, and I mean, tell me about the track. Like the track. I mean, is it really that equalizing in terms of power and everything?
I think it depends on the layout that we're running
Yeah.
at each event. Like the track overall does a pretty good job of keeping it to where most cars, it's not easy to just blow away from somebody, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But naturally, no matter how tight your track is, a 800 horsepower blower car versus a 300 horsepower VQ car, like the stalker car is going to have to make some sacrifices to keep proximity. That's just the nature of the beast.
Right.
I do think the narrowness of the track and some of the tighter corners definitely shorten that issue up a little bit, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
um, but I don't know if I would go on a pedestal to call it a equalizer, that it would ever
Gotcha.
make it fully feasible for you to come out there in a Miata,
Right.
right?
It's not
A stock
quite. It's
Miata.
not quite the Emerald Coast equalizer
No.
that
But
was.
even if you go back to the Emerald Coast days, right? Like a lot of the times it was always a pro guy
Yeah, it
or
was
an
still
ex-pro
pro
guy that was
guys,
on
but
par.
like, brother, that was it was some of
That
the
was a cool
best.
track.
It was some of the best driving I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Um,
Just wild down there, dude.
um, but yeah, no. So that's what I was curious, and actually, just watching this, Just a quick side question: has anyone ever gone off in the pond?
No, nope. In the 6 or 7 years that I've been involved over there, no one has. Ken, the owner of the track, used to tell people if you do, your car just belongs to the pond. Then I think that's deterred a lot of people from wanting to end up in it. It would, if you run reverse layout, which is clockwise, it's definitely more feasible and possible to end up in the pond.
Yeah,
But I mean, you'd still have to try pretty hard to end up in the
I
pond.
know. Yeah, I would assume it'd have to be like a rainy day or something, and like you just
I
totally
mean, even
misjudge
then,
it.
you'd have to. I mean, you'd have to. You'd be hard pressed to do it,
Yeah,
right?
that's funny. No,
We've
it's
had
a.
drivers in the pond. You know, I don't know if you saw that. We've now had drivers in the pond.
Oh yeah, no,
You
I did
know,
see that. It was.
yeah, we got
You,
our podium to jump in it, and then I think Mike Perez suplexed Dan Burkett into it this past round. So
oh man, no, it's a really cool element that the track has. It's kind of fun. Um,
yeah, it's a fun place, man. It's
yeah,
I call it the home of drifting in the southeast, right? Like that's the bridge we've been trying to kind of build. Is like you have clutch kickers on a more professional side, and you have like mid pond being the party, fun, grassroots track, right?
yeah,
And just trying to put them together.
100%. Um, the series in terms of payouts and stuff. Kind of what would it ended up? What did the payouts kind of end up being this year, and is it kind of still like a big focus for next year?
Yeah, I mean we're gonna keep. I don't know. I don't want to say too much of our plans, right?
Right. No. No. Yeah. No.
I don't.
Obviously,
But
but
yeah, we're gonna keep doing the bigger payout style thing. Like what's clutch kickers without 100K drift series, right?
right. No.
Um,
Exactly. Well, like,
but
what's the uh limitations? I guess for the series. Do you guys have a tire limit? Do you guys have a or is that something you think about
we do.
doing? Okay.
No, we do. Yeah, we have. So I implemented a 265 rule this year. I didn't put any other stipulation on it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, basically my mentality was like if the side of the tire says it's a 265, then that's all you can. That's all I'm going to allow you guys to run.
Cool.
I've thought about maybe doing some other stuff, but I'm not. Nothing's in concrete. There's still a lot of conversations to have, and who knows? I still need to talk to some of the drivers that were not thrilled about the 265 rule and kind of really get their opinions and thoughts. And we don't want to exclude anyone, and so
Well, the
you know,
challenge is,
some
you get some of these
fun
drivers that
conversation.
have deals with tire companies that make a 275 or something, and you're like, well, dude, like I can't just make the one change just for you. It's like it's the idea is to be competitive, and that you gotta balance that, right? But
Oh, for sure. But I mean, I still, I love talking to all these guys, right? And it's like,
yeah,
let's just have a conversation about it. And I still might not change my mind, but I still want to have a
right.
conversation. And 275 wouldn't even bother me. It's the 335s and the really crazy stuff that's like, man, that's a lot of tire. Why do you need it?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
What's the real reason for needing it? Is what I want to know.
Yeah, I remember when I was kind of partially helping, sort of, not really, but involved with the 50K Riverside stuff that we did. And I
Yeah,
remember one of the big issues was Adam coming out and he had to use his Nitto, whatever, sponsored tires or whatever it was at the time. And it was kind of a big
that's a
issue because
big tire.
yeah, because it made us change the rule to have them. And it was like everyone got upset about it. And it was like, it was a tough call, because you kind of had to make the rule change for one guy. And
Yeah, and
unfortunately, and it kind of was hard to be
I don't think
like,
that's the right way to do it.
no, but it was also hard to argue against having him be there because that was kind of the part of the reason some of the sponsors put on the event was so that he would go drive that event.
Yeah, but
And
at the
it's
same
like,
time, like that's a level of special treatment, and that just puts you in a really weird spot, right?
mm-hmm.
But I mean, those
It's
are always going to be decisions that you make that you're going to look at with like a fine scope later. You're going to have that hindsight and like, was it the right thing? Should we have done it? And that's just what ifs are never fun to play, anyways.
no, yeah, but it's just one of those things where it's a challenge, and whenever you get money involved too, everyone gets super like trying to find the fine details of things, and is technically this, and it, the one of the things is always made me laugh is when uh, a tire size says what tire size is on the side, and it's totally different sizes, and you're just like,
Oh, I can tell you one.
well, like I can tell you one. So I have 235 Kendas, and I have 235 40 Kendas and 235 40 Acceleras, and they're completely different size.
Yeah, I mean the 275 Kumos measure as a 265.
Okay, yeah.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
but because it says 275 on the side of the tire, regardless of how it measures, like you can't run that tire in my series, right? Which was
Right.
obviously a weird thing for me with Kumo and everything else. Like those guys are great; they make a great tire, but it's like, okay, we need a 265, I guess. But in regards to like those rules, right? Like Dan Burkett doesn't run a 265 on his car in pro, but when he was coming out to this round, like I'm, and don't hold me to this, but I'm pretty sure he ran the Pro Spec tire GT radial all weekend.
Yeah.
He ran the 255.
Yeah.
And so he didn't even bat an eye at it. You know, he's like, yeah, I mean, if that's what I have to do, that's what I have to do. And he did it.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, I like the tire rule personally. I think,
no, I
love what I love what the Englishtown Gambler does. Like, I love the 235 rule. I think it's quirky
sweet.
and it's fun. And, you know, it keeps the competition a little bit closer than, hey, I just brought a bigger tire, so I'm going to win. It's like, no, we're all in the same kind of sizing.
Right, exactly. So it's cool for sure, and I'm glad that this series came back. I know, I someday I would love to come out. You know, schedule is always the challenge, right? But
It's hard.
it's such a cool thing that you guys are doing, and obviously we're watching the live stream on here, and it's great quality. Like you guys did a killer job on the live stream, and you got your graphics on the bottom and all this kind of stuff, and it's like it's a really good production, and I think you're gonna get some more eyes next year. I just
For
think
sure.
this year it was just a tough start, and it took a
Yep.
couple rounds for, like you said, like it was pretty obvious, but like
Well,
it took a couple rounds for people to kind of be like, okay, no, this is a series that it's serious, and it's something that I should probably go drive and it would be fun kind of thing. But
of
yeah,
course.
because I just know that at the beginning of the year there was a ton of question marks and there weren't a whole lot of answers.
No, and I mean
Like,
our social media was lacking and
yeah.
wasn't a lot of information out there and I started working. I'm logged into Instagram. I can be in it right now, I guess, but I just started posting all the time and just trying to really update all that stuff. And we had a lot of staff changes throughout the year, bringing in some different people. We had round 4 and 5 were a completely different production team from rounds 1, 2, and 3, right?
Wow.
And I couldn't be more happy with the production value we have now.
That's cool. Oh yeah. No, that's good to hear. And I mean, like the cool thing is like you said, you kind of were able to make your changes and improve the series to kind of where you want it to be. And so that's what kind of gets me excited for next year for you guys, because I think next year you've like this year you've proved that you can run a solid series, and I'm definitely hopeful to see what next year has for this, because I think
Yeah.
the drifting world is better for having a good Clutch Kicker series around than not. Personally,
No, for sure.
I think
Yeah.
I think the drifting world lost something pretty sad, like a serious, when the series died.
I couldn't agree more, man. Like that was a big blow to lower drift competitions everywhere because what I mean it was several years I think even before like Hot Pit really fired up with what they were doing and all that. Like there was a pretty big void there for a while.
100%. And like other people have tried to do their own thing, and not to say that there aren't other good series. Like Hot Pit obviously kills it over on the West Coast with their
Yeah,
competitions,
there's a
and
bunch of
so
them. I mean,
there's other ones out there, but yeah.
well, I mean, you've got Hot Pit, Catch My Drift, E-Town Gambler, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like those are all great series in different kind of sectors of the country. So stuff's up and coming, and it's really getting there. And we have a lot going for us in drifting overall right now in that realm.
100%. Yeah, and yeah, I'm curious to see, like I said, where it goes, and I guess in your opinion, what if you were to build a Clutch Kicker's car? What would you build? I'm just curious for this track and this series.
I
Like,
mean,
what
it's
do you
funny you
think?
say that because That's what I'm doing right now for myself. Anyways, it's
Okay.
not per se a Kultch Kickers car, but it's like a car for me to run in other series next year and kind of
Yeah.
drive and get back out there, right? So I'm actually loaded for that one, right?
All right.
Um, Simple, man, like super simple. Like keep it as easy as possible because like in my head, like I haven't fully decided on a chassis yet. I go back and forth on which chassis, but as far as what engine and everything else, like 6.2 ish Chevy LS3, right? A 4-speed trans of some kind and a quick change. So you have your adjustable gearing for wherever you're at,
Yep.
whatever you're doing. Put a simple cam, heads, good header setup, good intake manifold setup. Make around like 450, 500 ish horsepower. And then probably just stab that in the tried and true S14 chassis. And then whatever angle kit you want. You know,
Right.
I'm not going to play the who makes a better one game. I'm not getting into that part of it, but like whichever angle and rear grip kit you want on it, great. But just keep it simple. Like a lot of these guys, I think, overbuild cars, especially for this level. And they're like, I need a blower, or I need nitrous, or I need 800 horsepower. And I don't, personally, I don't think it's necessary. I think if you build a 500 horsepower car and you spend enough time driving it and getting the experience in the seat time in it, you'll go really far.
Interesting. Yeah. It's
So that's my plan for next. That's
yeah.
what I'm building.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, what a recent comp car that I've been really like I think is a lot of fun is Denofa's Fox Body. You know, like just the idea of
Man,
driving the lightest thing possible, and you know, it's not like it doesn't make power either, but it's a
yeah,
car that you can fly around with pretty much anything. You know, it's like such a unique kind of build.
I love the Mustangs. I've driven the purple Fox body you've seen on that live stream a few times. That's my buddy Drew.
Yeah.
I've driven that car a lot over the years, and it's an absolute like this last round. That car was, I don't know what he did differently to it for this final round, but that thing was on rails and it was fast. Um, Heisman let me drive his seat time New Edge car recently, and I left Richmond, Virginia, really contemplating building a New Edge Mustang as a result, right? It was like, oh man, these things are super sick too. So I think as far as chassis go, I think in my head, like I think you can do a Mustang and you can have a lot of fun. It depends on what kind of driver you are. Um, they kind of seem to like a lot of front caster in them and a whole lot of like self steer. And so if you're not really into that, you might not like it. But in my personal opinion, I'm sure lots of people will be happy to disagree with me.
Right.
I think S14s, E36s, and I'll say E46s, even though I really hate them, but they're basically an E36,
Yeah.
right? I think those are my top three. Like, those are the drift chassis that
Right.
still hold weight and are still like easy, good, cheap, fast cars to build.
Right. Yeah. Although I don't know if S14s are necessarily that cheap anymore, but
You got to find them in a hole in the wall, dude.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
there was like a drift ready roller with an LS for sale out in Colorado yesterday. Angle mods, cage, all the stuff that would cost you way more than $5,000. It was for sale for $5,000.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So they're
So
out there.
it's still out there.
Yeah.
You just got to look past the guys that think they're worth like $20,000 as a stock car or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
36 is probably, well, no, 46 is probably the cheapest of
Yes.
those three to build right now,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like it's 36s are starting to hit that incline.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. No, it's a very interesting discussion. I just the reason I just pointed out Denofa's car is just because of how light it is, and everything kind of was built to be light on that
Yeah.
car. It's a fun idea to do. Um,
Yeah, power to weight ratio is big, right? Like they rip. He came to our round 3. I got to see that car drive in person finally.
Oh,
and I was
yeah.
like, oh man, like, that thing's sick.
it's a definitely unique chassis and car, but yeah. So obviously, Clutch Kickers. Where's the best people that are gonna want to know more about the series and hear the schedule? Where's the best place to kind of check out get the info for that stuff? Gonna be at.
You know, any of our either of our socials really, right? Like Clutch Kickers on Facebook, but like the most active one is Clutch Kickers on Instagram. Just at Clutch Kickers.
100%.
You know, you can message there. If you have questions about anything, you can go to the website clutchkickers.com and there's several different emails. You know, you have tech, you have media, you have info. If you need to talk to somebody, reach out. We're happy to have conversations, but we do a steady rollout of our Instagram all the time. Like that's where I post the track maps, the schedules, the point standings, who won what, who did what. We keep it pretty well updated now.
Cool. Oh yeah. No, it's like I said, I'm excited. I think the drift world needed something like this, so I'm glad you guys are bringing it back. And it looks like it's a fun track to drive. You know, I know you've told me it's nothing like the sim, but
it's not.
Yeah,
sim drifting isn't the real world, dude. You know my standpoint on this.
I know. No, you're not going to get a lot of agreeing opinions on that, but it's a very interesting track from a drifting standpoint. So I think you get a lot of different challenges at this track. In the same way,
I mean it's
in the same way that Emerald Coast I thought was a very unique and challenging track in a way. With all the transitions, I think this is another very different track to drive when it comes to skill levels and stuff.
I mean, I'm obviously biased, right? Because I've probably, I don't know the real number, but I'm sure I've turned well over 1,000 or more laps at this track in any direction you want to go, right?
Right.
And I still love going there and driving it, right? Like, no, it's never gotten boring. It's never been like, I've driven it so much, I'm good on driving. So it's unique, it's fun, it's got like some quirks. You'll read some corners wrong the first time you go there. You'll be like, I can haul so much speed into here, and then next thing you know, you're going to be off in the dirt somewhere. But it's fun, and then I mean, just the atmosphere of the place. Like you truly got to go there, even if it's not for clutch kickers, right? Like, if you want to come out and party, we do the big Mid Pond Spring Break Drift Party every year, the last weekend of March. Just come out and drive the track and have fun at any of the events. The owner of the track is always there. He's easily one of my favorite people in the world.
Hell yeah.
Just a great guy. He'll talk to you for as long as you want to talk, and he treats everyone the same. He's just a good person. So that mixed in with the fun of drifting in the track, like it's just a special place.
That's cool. Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. I'm excited. And, I kind of got lucky bringing you on right after the final round. I was like, oh, it's perfect. Now we can talk about it.
Yeah, solid timing.
Yeah,
solid timing. Right?
It worked out. I was like, fuck yeah. Like, this is... I just because I haven't been able to watch much or just because I've been busy. And I was really curious to see how the series would do this year. And I'm glad to hear that's going in the right direction. So that's sick.
It's monumentally different from what it was at the beginning. So
hell yeah. So... moving on, so I brought you on obviously as well because I see you 8 times a year.
8 times for the last 2 years at least. You see me 8 times a year. Well, technically, it was 7 in 20, or the first season we were in pro, right?
Yeah.
I still don't actually remember FD Atlanta. So.
Oh man, but yes, no, it's we've had some good times and. Obviously, you've been a crew chief in FD for many years now, and seen a thing or two. We don't have tons of time, but I kind of wanted to get your perspective on at least a lot of things that you've kind of learned over the years. Crew chiefing for an FD team, and kind of what are some of the big things that you've learned, running cars in FD and keeping them running, and like that's kind of your job, right? Is to keep the car on the track.
Yeah.
And so what are some of the big things, big picture at least, that you kind of learned over the years that it's kind of helped you guys with that?
Yeah, I mean, one of the probably biggest things that we learned over the years, right, was start your season before your season even starts, right? Buy 2 of every part that could possibly be hit. Right, suspension arms, coilovers, tie rods, inners, outers, all of it. Right,
like 2 spares of each, or like one spare.
2. I mean, okay. One spare.
Okay, spare. Gotcha.
But put everything on the car, align it to your specs, ride height, whatever you're gonna do, right? And then take all of that off and put it in a box, and then put all the other stuff on and align it to the exact same specs, right? That is the only way you will ever complete a 5-minute timeout if somebody donks you. That was something we definitely couldn't do back in the E30 days because it had all the custom stuff and all the trials and tribulations. I mean, you saw, I think anyone that's ever been to FD when we were in that car saw the
absolute
love
nightmare that it was.
Right? Yeah, no, it was definitely the best times ever, dude. Never. um, and then aside from that, man, like figure out what your your first year. You can't do it before your first year, right? But like after your first year, you should know like what parts kind of fail and what time frames, and just make sure that you always change them out in those same kind of time frames. Or like you get, I've talked to a lot of guys that are like, what do you mean you get your G-force serviced every year? And I'm like, what? Yeah, that's what you do. Like, it's a race car part. It's not a buy one time and it works forever.
Right.
Service that stuff. And other than that, man, like just have a good crew behind you. Have good guys. Like your help, like free help is often the worst help. It can be a lot of fun and you can have a lot of good experiences. But if the guy that's helping you wrench on that car doesn't know what tools to hand or this and that, and I think our team has always been lucky over the years because Andy's mostly built his car himself.
Yeah.
And so he knows one thing that saved us who knows how many times is Andy knows what tools I need before I can even say that I need it. So I'll be wrenching on something and I'll just have tools thrown at me, right?
Yeah.
And that makes you drivers know your car, right? Help your boys out. If you're a small team, you're a small privateer guy like us, like just know what's going on. Other than that, I don't know. I don't talk about this stuff much. You know me. I just do it.
I know, right?
Stuff goes wrong, I fix it, and then we're still good somehow, right?
Yeah, right. It's true. And
don't touch the car before Kevin starts the clock, or he's going to yell at you a ton. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
One of our guys did that one time, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Do not piss off Kevin. That is one of the guys you do not want to piss off.
He's a great guy. He's really hard to make mad. Just don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. No. What's kind of one of the crazy stories that you had fixing the car, where like was it a 5 minute, or maybe you broke something pretty serious and had to get it done before a battle or something? Like, give me one story that you had to throw a car together for.
Okay. I think probably the one that's the most surprising, and I don't remember what year it was, but it's all of the really crazy stories are almost always the E30. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of stuff broke on that car. We were in Texas one year. I'll never remember the year, but we were in Texas.
Yeah.
And the clutch went out of the car probably right towards the end of practice going towards qualifying, right?
Yeah.
And we ranked it back to our pit, and we had, I don't know how much time we actually had, but I think I pulled the trans, changed out the clutch, had it back together and on the ground and going back out the grid in like 20 minutes total.
Wow.
To do it. Yeah, it was a gnarly one. And like, it was just, by myself under the car just because, more people would have been more time.
Right. Yeah.
And we ended up breaking, what broke on it was the center spline on the clutch had just, like, the rivets didn't fail. The actual, like, plate had just failed on it.
Wow.
And so we had to rip it out, change it out, slam the trans back in. And, like, I remember we put it on the ground and Kevin came by to tell us it was time to go out there. And I was like, good, because we're ready. And he had, like, a look of, like, there's no way. That was probably the craziest one. That's like the one that I was still in my early 20s back then.
Oh, yeah.
And now I'm like, there's no way. There's not a snowball's chance in hell I could do it now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, like the shoulders aren't there anymore, man. They're pretty toast.
Yeah,
that was a good one. Or the Seattle one. Were you there the Seattle rain year in 2020?
Yes.
When me and Andy stayed up for like 2 days straight trying to chase that wiring problem that we couldn't figure out.
Yeah.
And then I just hot shot power straight off of the battery to the coil packs, and I was like, it runs now, go.
Yeah. Sometimes you just kind of have to, figure it out sometimes, bypass
you got
some
to do
systems.
some stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
You got to do some stuff. And I put a fuse in the wire that I hot shot, so it was safe.
It was fine.
Ish.
Nothing burned down that time. Yeah, no, like you guys are kind of like the real heroes of FD that people don't see a lot of. So it's always, if I can, shout out some of you guys and like at least have a little bit of knowledge, because I mean that is a question too. Like I'll get is like how do people get involved in FD? And like you said, free help isn't always the best help, but there are times where it's nice to have an extra hand, whether it's at the booth or and stuff like that. And honestly, if you guys wanted to get FD experience, like being a crew member on a team is probably some of the best, especially if you have your own program that you're trying to start. Like going to FD and helping another FD driver out, you just learn so much on like whether it's being how to be a professional, how to present yourself to companies, sponsors that are there, and then presenting the car, making sure everything works and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, you'll learn, a lot of what to do, what not to do, and it, you, there's always going to be opportunities. Everyone will still hire free help, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's just the way it is. And I didn't mean that fully in a negative light. I just,
Right.
you should always have like your main guy and then your helpers are what they are.
Right.
But it, you can learn so much just from being there. And like you get to see the cool side, like what we got to see in New Jersey this year, right? Like you get to see the really cool side of FD where all the teams actually help each other when the stuff gets real, right? Like with what happened with Jeff's car this season.
Yep.
There was a ton of different teams over there, just ready to help, do whatever was needed, and we weren't competitors. We were like one big family at that point, and that's happened multitudes of times over the years. Seeing that's really really cool in the series, and if you're a driver and trying to go into pro, you should try and be a spotter for a pro team for sure.
Yeah.
Because you get to see a whole bunch of stuff.
100%. And it's really it's a good family, to be a part of. Even if you,
Truly,
like when I go to FD, those are my friends. Like I live in the middle of nowhere. I got one friend around me that knows what drifting is. Everyone else is like, no one knows what that is. So like, for me, I'm like, I go to FDE to see friends because that's the only time I actually see a lot of them, and it's for me it's like my family outside of my family, right? And
I mean that's the same reason I go. To be honest with you,
yeah. Well, it's like
I love seeing everybody. Right, you make so many connections.
it's like the traveling circus, right?
It yeah no it literally. It's there's so much like there's just so many like fun things that happen there, and you just build those relationships with people like and to be honest, a lot of the things that I made happen within Kultch Kickers with between an endless amount of guest appearances throughout the years. We had Matt Sopa as a judge, we had Tony Schultz as a judge, we had Pat Gooden came out as a judge, Ben Hobson came out as a judge. Like I wouldn't know any of those guys if it wasn't for working in FD all these years.
Right.
And so there's something to be said about that. Like where else are you going to get that kind of those kind of bonds with people, right? Where like I called Ben Hobson like Wednesday night before this round to see if he wanted to be a judge at the final round of Kultch Kickers, right?
Right.
So you only get, in my opinion, you only really get that in a community, which is
Right.
what FD is, right? Like when the tornado ran through, it was like our little circus of tents had just all gotten destroyed, but everyone was checking on everybody, helping each other out, and it's a really good place and a really good atmosphere.
100%. No, it's cool. It's definitely something people should be going to if you get the opportunity. But
Yeah, go.
with that being said, I've hit that mark, kind of like the 2 hour mark, and I have one more good question for you. Do you have a
What is it?
Andy Luck story that you can legally tell me?
Oh man, I do, but it's from a very long time ago.
Matt, those are the best
And
ones.
there's nothing illegal about it, I guess. A long time ago, I won't. Can I leave driver names out of
You
it?
can definitely leave driver names out of this.
All right, perfect. A long time ago, a driver needed some help in my hometown of Atlanta, and it was I think it was 2016 because it was the year that we had to go back to Pro-Am with Haley, right?
Yeah.
And I agreed to help, and he wanted me to go on hot pit on grid, and I was like, I don't think that's a good idea because I'm pretty sure. And I'm like, I was still really new, so I wasn't even positive Andy Luck truly knew who I was. But I was like, I'm pretty sure he does. I think that's a bad idea. And I did it anyways, and we were out there, and somebody was like live videoing something, and of course Andy was watching it, and he like beeline towards me. I came straight to me, and he's just, show me a hard card. And I'm like, I don't have one. And then immediately, like, I'm getting yelled at. The driver that made the decision's getting yelled at. I'm trying to like scurry away, because I don't want to offend him or make the situation worse or anything like that. I think I think the way he described what we were doing was he used the wording, "What is this Mickey Mouse bullshit?" And I remember hearing that, and it was so funny. And then I spent the next probably 3 or 4 years convinced that he hated me.
Oh, that's amazing.
That but this year at the Prospect Banquet, when I was stopping in there, somebody was trying to, joke around and say I wasn't allowed to be there because I had the red lanyard, and Andy turned around and said, "I like him way more than I like you. Leave him alone." And I was like, "We made it."
Oh, that's good.
He is a great guy, man. If I feel bad for Andy Luck for all he has to deal with at every event I've seen, I wouldn't want his job ever.
No,
and he carries it so well.
No, it's amazing, and that's kind of the fun part. Is like, I feel like he's like the guy that everybody knows, like.
Yeah.
If you know anything about FD, you know Andy, and like everyone has some unique story with him. Like I've heard some absolute hilarious ones. Whether it was like Dylan Hughes, like almost getting kicked out of his first FD event ever by him. Like it's just like hilarious. Like no one else would do this, right? But it's just Andy.
Yeah.
Is Andy. I still. Was it this year that they were protesting the Long Beach round? Like they had like little protest.
Yeah.
And he was like jumping in with the protests, walking with them, and like, like kind of like I think he might have even had a sign with like took one of the signs too and was like walking around with them.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a quirky dude, man, and you see it pop out all over the place, right? But you got to be watching for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't imagine a Formula D escape without him, right? Like,
oh yeah,
he's fun to talk to. He jokes with everyone all the time, and when he's serious, he has to be serious. And honestly, I think every time I've seen him be serious, whichever one of us he was being serious with, we deserved it.
yeah.
Like we earned it, and just what a good dude. So many stories.
Hell yeah, no, it's a good time, man. This is fun. I wish we had some more time because like I know we'd have so much more to hit, especially on the FD side. But it's unfortunately this is how time works, right? But there was one question we had in chat that I wanted to get to before the end, and it was burner account BA1. But it was so since the driver list is temporary as of today, is it possible for more drivers to be added in the near future? Yes, basically if drivers drop out, you theoretically FD has a waiting list that they can put drivers in for. If any drivers do drop out. But technically, if every driver on that list is going to drive FD, then you're kind of like, that's the list, basically. Now, the likelihood of that happening is not great, but just a quick explainer on the question that I did see from there. But, yeah, thank you, buddy, for coming on. And
yeah, thanks for having me.
What's kind of, what are you selling nowadays? You still got your business, the K1 built business, like what do people can work with you on still?
Right now nothing, because I have an incredibly long backlog that I am fighting through.
Yeah, it's weird, it's like he knows what he's doing and then people like ask him to do things. It's weird.
Yeah, I still work on a lot of drift cars, do a lot of fabrication and engine building, but I don't I'm unintelligent, unlike the rest of my friends in this world, that I don't sell anything outside of I can build stuff with these things. That's it. That's what I've got.
Yeah. No, it's awesome.
But if you want to, check out the Instagram that I post on once every 8 months.
Yeah, right. Kurtis K1 built.
That's it.
Yeah. No, but like I said, I'm super happy that you were at least helping out with clutch figures and everything, and I hope to see you in FD next year as well. As always, though,
you'll see me somewhere out there for sure. You know that.
I'm sure.
Whether it's 8 rounds or 4 rounds, who knows? But yeah, you'll see me out there.
Hell yeah, let's go. Again, guys, just to reiterate, if you guys did like the stream, be sure to like, subscribe's always appreciated. But I also wanted to announce we are dropping a video tomorrow on my little EcoBoost BMW that hopefully you guys enjoy. You guys liked the first one I did, so I guess I have to do more vlog stuff, which I'm still learning how to not cringely do. And then also on Thursday, we're going to be doing some live streaming on Assetto, hanging out with people and just driving for fun. So I think the first stream that we did went really well. So if you guys want to come join that, be checking out all the socials for that info on that stuff as well. And